Today we are honored to have our first guest in our podcast. We are here with one of the very interesting universities here in the UAE, in the United Arab Emirates. مرحبا بمتابعين ومستمعين بودكاست بلس. I'm with Mr. Gladwin, Associate Vice President of BRIS University and Nest Academy. Hello, sir.
Hi, Ahmed. It's a pleasure to have been invited over your podcast.
Thank you.
Looking forward to our conversation.
Of course. So we can maybe start with first maybe question for any student who would be watching today. If you could maybe give us a rundown about the programs in the university and different pathways and options that they can be interested in. Maybe we can start with that.
Perfect. Give an overall perspective of what we do and the kind of courses that we offer at our campuses, both at BRITS and at NEST.
Okay.
Let me first, give you a little summary of the kind of programs that gets offered,
okay,
and then the purpose and, the purpose statement of why we are doing these kind of programs.
Sure.
So we have quite a diverse range of programs with various pathways, with various qualifications that comes within, the entire bundle of the qualifications that we have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from the foundation courses. These are, the UK level 3 equivalent kind of courses, especially for those, students of specific nationality where they don't have a formal 12 years of, formal high school education, maybe parts of Russia and Uzbek and those, the Upper East part of it.
Yes.
Where their formal education is of 11 years and plus.
Mm-hmm.
And those who have just done their O-levels or their high school, then these foundation courses becomes a good stepping stone for them that they do before they enter into any bachelor's or undergrad programs, Okay. So starting from the foundation programs to undergrad programs, which are again at certificate levels, that is, level 4 and 5 when it comes to UK qualifications, which are, diplomas and higher national diplomas, which, culminates to getting a top up as a bachelor's degree. Along with that, then we also have complete bachelor programs, the BBAs with almost 15 different specializations that we have to offer.
Okay.
Then from there we have, postgrad programs, which are again, postgraduate certificate diploma programs and master's program or MBAs, again in multiple specializations.
Okay.
So this is the overarching kind of programs that we have with BRITS and Nest Academy.
Okay.
Along with this, we also offer, MBAs for working professionals and DBAs as well, which is Doctorate of Business Administration, which is again for majorly, crafted for working professionals. So these are the range of qualifications that we have. Now, with respect to, from a student perspective, which generally, choose to take up undergrad or the master's qualification, we have a range of specialization in them and a range of pathway option available to the students. When we talk about our Nest campus, that is specifically, designed in a manner to offer UK qualifications. So you would find all UK level 4, level 5 in programs like business management, in hospitality, in sports, events management, in IT and project management.
Okay.
So these are the kind of, specializations in which we have the level 4, level 5 qualifications, which the student can, complete with us and choose a university of their options, maybe in the UK or any other part of the world where they would want to go and have it topped up. Now, the good part of these qualifications is because these are UK qualifications, it is, off-call recognized, and then it has the universal acceptance across the globe. So that's for the Nest campus. With respect to the Brits campus that we have, there in the undergrad programs and in the master's or the MBA program, we have an English taught program for all those Anglophone speaking students who want to pursue their qualifications in English. And we also have French taught courses, which again are for bachelor's and for master's qualification. With respect to the English taught programs, we have close to 12 to 15 specializations within them, ranging from international business to hospitality to accounting, finance, logistics, supply chain, data science, AI, IT, project management, healthcare management, sports, events, and many more that I may be missing out on. But that's on a broader range, the kind of programs that we have, both at the undergrad and at the master's level.
Okay.
Similarly, when we come to the executive MBAs, that is for the working professionals, if we have to talk about, those again are with around 8-9 specialization, ranging from HR, international business, accounting, finance, and so on and so forth. And the DBA qualifications that we have, Doctorate of Business Administration, that is into strategic leadership. So that is, it has only one specialization, but I think that's a very predominantly strong, program.
Okay, coming back to that to the question about the programs, can we also I would like to understand the price behind it. So we are talking in brackets, for example, bachelor degree and master degree, MBA also. How much does it cost, more or less? I know that the programs are very rich and very large list. So just for the audience, also for the students who are watching, to know more or less what we are talking about in terms of price and tuition fees.
So in terms of the program pricing, if you ask me, the bachelor's degree would range with a fee of around $5,000 to $6,000 for per year, per annum, and it's a 3 years bachelor's course. So then you can work around that. For a master's degree, it's a 2 years master's would range anywhere between 6 to 8,000, 9,000, depending on the kind of specialization that you look at. But an upper limit of 9,000 and a lower limit of around 6,000 is what the bracket ranges. But the good part within this is we do have a lot of scholarships for students who do very well in terms of their academics, both pre-entry and post-entry. That means if a student has a very good academic track record while they're applying to us, they get the benefit of an additional, a scholarship that is awarded to them, which generally happens in most of the universities across as well. But other than that, once they have enrolled within our program, and we also measure their academic track record while they're studying with us. And those students who consistently perform well year on year are also provided scholarships ranging, as good as 25% scholarship per year over their annual fees as well. So it really depends on the kind of program you select and the kind of academic track record that you're showcasing.
Okay. I had actually a chance today, the pleasure to be in both campuses in Nest in Dubai and also in the Brits campus in Sharjah, and I was very surprised with the student experience that we can see obviously when we just walk in to the university and to both campuses. I do have a question related to that. Can you maybe explain to us or present also the educational model and technologies and ways of teaching that the university or both universities are offering to their students?
So before I start explaining the nitty-gritties of how we function, let me put across the 5 major ethos by which we function. Okay. At our campuses, we strongly believe on these 5 principles. They are quality, relevance and new age qualifications, affordability of the course, flexibility in terms of its delivery, and the global mobility and the diversity that is there in the campus. Now, let me elaborate on all of these points,
Okay.
one by one, so that it gives you a perspective of
course.
how we function. While the qualifications that that we've onboarded and the university partners that we work with to offer these qualifications, are one of those that have good ranking, has they have been there over a period of time. Their students, their alumni have done well, over the past years, and their qualifications have its own, track and rigor. Having said that, in terms of our delivery, we have a very strong and a robust quality mechanism in place that ensures the overall journey of the student, not only with respect to the academic delivery, but also with the overall student experience, is taken care of at every level and at every interval. So that ensures that the overall learning experience and the overall quality of the student while they stay and they study with us is taken care of, and the outcome that they expect is to a certain way addressed. Okay. In terms of the qualification titles that you see, the kind of specializations that we offer, of lately we've also introduced within our IT courses programs like cloud networking and cloud computing, cybersecurity, and gaming, game development, app developments, AI and data sciences are some of those qualifications. Apart from that, other programs like logistics, supply chain, like blockchain, these are some of the qualifications which are the future skills. I recently read a report on World Forum, which said that 5 years down the line, the kind of job roles that we would need does not exist today.
Exactly.
So for a university college like us, how do we prepare a student for qualifications and for job roles that does not exist today in the market? It's like shooting in the dark, right? So hence, we've made sure that we are still offering qualifications that are presently relevant and has a future progression of growth and has a future area of development. At the same time, we also very strongly believe on enhancing the employability quotient of every student. So all our programs have some sort of internship opportunities that are linked to it. So every student who undergoes qualifications, studies with us, we call it as study while you work, kind of a thing, that where the student has the ability to study, carry on the program like a regular full-time student, but at the same time has the opportunity of taking a part-time, internship opportunities, which gives them the right kind of skill set needed for the sector that they, envisage to enter into. So that in overall prepares them for the new age qualifications or new age skills, and to a certain extent it also makes us relevant to the changing ecosystem within the job world. Then coming to the third pillar of ours, which is affordability. While what I've told you as as a bracket range of fees, when you do a comparative analysis with the other universities that are there in and around town, and the kind of price range that is offered with or by them, or you go to any developing country and you see the kind of course fees that you look at, I can vouch for it to say that we charge, the fees that we charge would be anywhere around 1/5, 1/6 the price of what a general university generally charges. And the reason for that is not because we want to make it less cost, so that it's an easy takeaway. It's just that we've worked a model of operation in such a way that we are able to provide the right kind of student learning outcome at the minimum cost. And we want to pass on that benefit to all our students. And it's not only with our UAE campuses. We have campuses in Australia, we have campuses in US and in France and other parts of the world as well. So when you compare our pricing in any of these campuses, we have one part that we have maintained throughout our journey is making sure that the fees are affordable, because we believe education is not only for those who can afford, but for everybody who aspires to study. So that makes us very strong on those aspects. In terms of flexibility and the kind of support that we provide, so our teaching pattern and our delivery methodology is a blended form, wherein the student has the option to come to campus, sit in a class with their faculties, with their lectures, and have a live, interactive session there. Let's say, for example, the student is on, an internship project, because of which the student has to be on the project site. What happens then? We believe that the student should not be put into a dilemma where he has to choose between experience and learning. So we've made sure that our classes are live online, relayed to all the students through our learning management platforms. So a student has then the option of attending the lectures live from their workplace scenario, okay, through the the learning management platforms that we have, and be part of the classroom interaction as if they would have been on campus, right? So that makes them still be in the classroom, still have the same kind of experience, though it's online, and through a screen. But I believe post-COVID, we've all learned and we have adapted ourselves to screen format of learning. And we kind of taking and making the best use case scenario out of it. So that is with respect to the academic delivery and study flexibility, but also in terms of the fees part of it, which I've mentioned, that while we are affordable, which we know, but at the same time we also are flexible in terms of the way how the student has the option of paying it back to us. That on an average, generally the first year tuition fees are something that that the student generally sends or pays at the time of admission. But what happens in their second and third years, in case of an undergrad program or the second year of a master's program, is we give them flexible options of paying it in installments. That gives them the ability to work and earn their own tuition fees, and not pass on the burden back home to whoever is funding and sponsoring their course fees. And that in itself is a proof that makes student dependent, makes them independent rather, and conscious of the decisions that they do, and makes them enter into the realm of maturity a little more faster, a little more better than maybe a fully funded student would enter in. And the last part is the global mobility and the global diversity aspects. So with our campuses in UAE, we currently have students with more than 45 nationalities who study with us. And this is not just the nationality, but I'm saying these are students coming in from 45 countries who are coming and studying with us, not just the nationality. So these are students coming in from 45 different countries all over the world, from the whole of Asia, from the whole of Africa, from South America, Latin side of America, and all of those aspects. So we have students coming in from these diverse background. That makes the classroom like a global landscape. You should be in the class to understand the kind of discussion that happens, where a student coming in from the northern parts of India, giving in his or her perspective up against a student coming in from South America, giving in their understanding to a student who's coming in from the southern part of Africa and sharing in his or her intake on those aspects. So the discussion is very vivid, in the classroom, and that I believe is a very raw format of learning, because we strongly believe that learning does not only happen from the tutor. With the current age, with AI and all those things that is there in place, the role of the professors is not only of being a knowledge provider, but more of a facilitator, because knowledge is now available at the palm of your hand.
Yes.
So they are more like a facilitator, and peer learning is a very strong format of learning, and we very strongly promote that in our class. And that being said, with all our programs, there are global mobility options. For example, students who enroll into our NEST qualifications with the kind of the diplomas and the certificates that they acquire, they can choose to go to any Commonwealth countries or any countries which accepts UK qualifications.
Okay.
And transfer to any of these colleges, do a top up with those parts of the world. Within the Brits campus that we have, with our French university partners that we've worked in, the student has the option, let's say a student at the bachelor's degree, they can start their first year with us, do a second year in one of the campuses in France, and then maybe do the third year of their program with one of the campuses in Germany, and still get the complete bachelor's degree, but having experience of multi-country. So that global mobility is something which I believe is the key, which makes our overall program and its entire delivery very unique.
Okay, thank you. Yes, again, like I said, it's very interesting what the university and both campuses are doing, and I did see it by myself, like you said. To see that diversity and that mix of culture and nationality, it gives you a big hope of what's going on that on both campuses, and what can they produce, if we can use this word.